Hey YouTube, MrRampro here. I wanted to do a more detailed video of the Model 73 from GEC. Now this is the Tidioute side of the house. They also have the Northfield Unexcelled, which I'll be showing here in a minute as a comparison, and the GEC also makes, they release some in limited quantities under their own name as well. But I wanted to go ahead and do a couple of close-ups and hit on a couple of points that I didn't get on the other video. So if you saw the other video, this would be a little slightly more detailed observation. Now this here is your Model 73. It's kind of a, this is the slip joint offering. And as a size comparison, you have a 72, which is a locking version of the same pattern. So this is a double-bladed jackknife, and this is a single-bladed lockback. The 72 and then the 73. So 73 and the 23, which is the larger version of this, came out first, and then the 72 came out as a locking version, and I'm hoping that a 22 will come out as a locking version of the 23, which is not shown. I will go ahead and show you guys the handles, because that's really where you can tell instantly that these things are exactly the same knife, really. One is a slip joint and one's lockback. So right there, get more centered here, you can see right there the instant comparisons. I really did like the 72 for the lanyard hole, but I liked the 70, let's see, what am I saying here, 72 for the lanyard hole and 73 because of the bolsters here on the ends and just the classy look to it, and the fact that it was offered as a jackknife. I really like having more than one blade. I like having a smaller pin blade. I love the pin blades. As far as for EDC tasks and stuff like that, the Case Peanut would be a good version or a good example of a jackknife. And I also have another jackknife that I would directly compare to the 23 offered by Case. So these here, I'm going to have to probably get rid of the pin blades, but you know that pin blade's there and it's virtually the same size. I'll show them again in a second. I would compare these, I have these jackknives comparable to each other. The handle here is a little bit more stout on the GEC. The Case knife's a little bit more slim, in the pocket, nice to fit. This thing I would probably recommend throwing in a holster or something like that on your side, like actually in a knife pouch or something mounted to your belt. I have not carried this at all. You can tell that it is the 1095, and you can tell that by this right here. If you're not familiar, it says Titusville Ironworks. That's going to be all your 1095 offerings, and if I'm wrong on this, please correct me, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. And the stainless steel offerings, which would be like your 440Cs from GEC, would be from Cyclops Steelworks. So let me know, or Cyclops Steel, something like that. Let me know if you guys have any other experience with that, but that's how it was explained to me. I think I read that on one of the forums. I will go and let you know that this knife here has some extremely strong springs, and it's kind of scary to deploy. I'd read this before on quite a few forums and stuff like that, but compared to the Case knife, no half stops on the Case whatsoever. Really strong half stops on the GEC. But this pen knife, God dog, this pen knife's freaking dangerous and kind of scares me to open it. It's not something quick. Maybe when they wear in or something it'll be a little better, but I feel like I'm going to lose a finger every time I play with it. I really like the design. I like the big, nice, meaty feel in your hand. You can really get some serious stuff done with this blade, but the strength on the back springs really kind of has me a little hesitant on using it. This Case has been with me a lot of different places. You can see the patina on the blade. The 1095 will also take a really good patina. You can see that here on the 72. These are forming naturally here. I do have some that I'd forced on before. This one here, you can see it's extremely dark. That's a forced version. Just dropped it in some vinegar. That's that Case CV steel, and then the 1095s. All your carbon steels are going to form some kind of patinas, and some of your stainless steels as well. They're going to stain. They're just going to stain less than your carbon steels. So that's kind of how it was explained to me. And the rust fray is kind of rust-free offerings. Those are on more of your European type knives, Germany and stuff like that, Swiss knives. Anyways, enough on those. You can see here that overall, it really is a rather impressive jackknife. Now back to these springs, I'll go ahead and show you. On the main blade, you have really strong half stops here. You can rock it slightly, but I mean it really is going to protect you, and that's what half stops are designed. So if something does break the initial slip joint of your knife, it stops there and doesn't come down and cut your fingers off, you know what I mean? Versus a knife without a half stop. If I break it, now this one does stop here, it's not as smooth as others, but okay, well this one might not necessarily need a half stop. Let me find one here that does need a half stop. That one has a half stop. Either way, God knows you ain't gonna have what you need to make a video, huh? This one here, oh, that has a half stop as well. This is the case back pocket. I'll do a size comparison real quick on that. Either way, there are some knives that don't have half stops. They go straight down, and when they make it about halfway, they could continue going. It's just a safety feature kind of design in the slip joint community. This here I would have in my head, even though it looks fairly comparable now, I would say that it's probably more comparable, there they're on top of each other, to your 23. So that's probably a more accurate representation of the sizes there. So the case back pocket I would say is closer to your 23. And if you have a lock back, closer to a 22 that might come out sometime soon. So half stops, stop there nice and strong. Deployment really good. Nice sturdy work knife in my mind. I mean, I think you could really get pretty much anything done. I really do like it. I might just end up having to carry it anyways and suck it up with springs, wear them in, you know, that kind of thing. But I'm also trying to pick up a couple of knives here and there that my sons could have and use and stuff like that when they get older that might not be offered anymore. This was made in 2009. There were 50 pieces made just like this, and I'll show you guys if you're not aware. There's the model number there on the back. You can see that 734209. Well, the 73 is the pattern, or the model. Pattern, I guess, would be the same. Here's the 72. You really can't read it on the 72. It's hidden by the bolster. And then the 42 is the designation for... Anyways, and then now that we're through that part, the 09 is the year that it's made. So really cool on the GEC. They started in 2006. So they have 99 little blade stamps they can do before they got to worry about trying to change some kind of tang stamps, you know. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was really neat to just have it added straight into your pattern. You don't, or your pattern number. You don't even have to worry about it. Your model number's done, and you never have to worry about dating them whatsoever. You don't have to worry about distinguishing dots and stuff like that. I do know that's actually kind of fun, because if you find something in a garage sale like a case knife and you're not 100% what it is, that's kind of part of the fun. You can see here on this tang stamp for this case jack knife, there's a series of X's and dots and stuff like that. If you go to Case's website, you can get information on how to distinguish those. If you go to GEC's website, you can also get a breakdown of their pattern numbers. I did not read it beforehand. But they also show on the information button on the right hand side, they show how many of that particular model they made that year. Now sometimes the serial, because they do release a lot of serial numbered models, so they might release 50 of this, which they did, with no serial number, and then another 10 with a serial number, which making the ones with a serial number a little more rare because there's 50 of the other. But in some certain, situations, the non-serial number knives are actually more rare than the serial number knives. I know it kind of seems weird, but if you go through and you read under that information tab in the production totals on GEC's website, you can see that there were, I believe, let me show you this. You can double check me, look it up on your own if you don't have one. Where's that number? Oh, it's on the other blade. On the smaller knives, they put the first 3 on one side and the last 3 on the other. So this is a 33, 12, 11. That's the conductor even down to your handle material and stuff like that. So those middle numbers have got to be your handle material and everything. But can't remember the totals on it. I want to say maybe like 25 of these or maybe 30 of these in the buffalo horn, whereas they're a little less common. I don't know if that makes sense 100%, but either way, look it up, figure it out. You'll be good to go. I'm tired of rambling about these freaking tang stamps. I want to show you guys the knives. I want to show you guys the pulls on the knives and stuff like that. You'll see here the 72, nice and smooth all the way through. The 73 is smooth, but you got a little bit of beef you got to put behind it, you know. And it is kind of, you saw how I kind of jerked it back on me. Now this pin blade, that one, it'll wear in. I could probably add a little oil. I use the 3-in-1 oil. Same thing for small electric motors and stuff like that. I use that on a lot of my knives. I apologize. Oddly enough, I am actually drinking the same exact beer I drank when I did the first video on this knife, but which is the Shock Top Lemon Shandy, and this is the lemon zest handle material. You can't really see it as good in this video. The other one I was outdoors, but really smooth, feels great. Smooth yellow dyed handle, so bone handle, really nice. The pin blade, a little bit stiff. I know I'm rambling quite a bit, but you also got to remember I'm partaking while I'm doing these videos, so that should be one of the warnings before you watch my video. Rambling is included, caution. Overall, really nice knife, great bolsters. Centering is perfect on this thing. I really just I cannot complain about this thing whatsoever. Just overall a great knife. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited that it's under the Tidioute name, because I'd heard that the unexcelled name, the Northfield Unexcelled, was actually their higher quality, or kind of like a better brand than GEC. You know, they kind of put a little bit more into fit and finish and stuff on the Unexcelled. This one here, I can't tell. So that's really what I liked. And another thing that I loved about this knife, I showed in the last video, the top here is completely smooth. That is awesome. Now back here where your back springs meet, there is a little bit of a ridge, but the top of your blade, or the end of your blades, I guess actually here, is insane. I mean, that's just completely flush all the way through. When you get to your half stop, this one's a little recessed. I know they say signs of a good half stop are the fact that it's, you know, completely flush all the way through the operation. Doing this thing on camera, I don't want to cut my fingers off, so. And this one's actually a little raised on the pin blade, but overall, great quality. Cannot complain whatsoever as far as that goes. I just wanted to show something that Case had offered beforehand, and you might possibly pick one up under the GEC brand. You can see there a great jackknife. I love the pattern. Definitely well used here. There's not too many points, so you have to use your pin blade as a point on this one because of the rounded tip on your larger spade blade, as I was calling it. It's probably just a regular, whatever. Anyways, some other kind of name for it, I'm sure. But I definitely appreciate you guys watching this video. I will toss in on this video too, and I'll probably toss it in another video, where I'd actually rounded off some of the edges on this other Tidioute. This is the conductor. This comes with a coping blade. You can see there that I've rounded it off to make it more like a sheep's foot. It came more straight, like this coping blade on this Buck 305. You can see right there that it's more of just a sharp angle edge. I rounded it here because during the open of the main blade, you had a sharp little corner sticking out. And then because I liked how smooth it was, I also did the same thing on the main clip point. It wasn't a problem on the main blade, but I just liked how it's smooth now versus the point. Just something I liked. I don't know. Either way, usually if I'm in a meeting or I'm doing something, walking around at work, I'll be rubbing my fingers on this while it's in my pocket, you know, just something to do, I guess. But either way, I appreciate you guys watching. Definitely recommend one of these Model 73s all the way through. That's the blade shape I was talking about moments ago. Great swedge on the end there, really nice. Looks even on both sides, so that's nice. You do have the Tidioute cutlery blade stamp. Really nice blade. I definitely recommend picking one of these things up. These can be had, I would say, anywhere between $70 and $80. I do knife collector or collectorknives.net a lot. That's usually where I get the majority. That's where I get most of my GECs. This one here I actually got from another place, oddly enough. That was I think knifesupply.com or something, but it wasn't too bad. A little long on the shipping, but overall not too bad. But all these here, and then there's a couple more that I've actually gotten from the collectorknives.net. Can't brag on them guys enough. Great customer service. They give you really good detailed information on where your package is at and everything like that. So I definitely recommend them people. So you can see the fit and finish. Pick one of these things up. I hope somebody does a little bit better review for you if you didn't like this one, because I don't want to sell a knife short by stumbling over my words and stumbling over my tongue while I'm chugging two different kinds of beers here. It's great. Either way. Love you guys bunches. Have a good one.